Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arthur Robinson Jr. I'm the creator and host of the Powerful Interviews podcast show. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll be well informed when I publish more outside the box interviews from these hectomillionaires and decamillionaires from all over the world. And I'm going to be interviewing a great friend of mine. He's a successful businessman. His name is Derek Bailey. So stay tuned. Okay, so everyone that is listening and watching right now, get your pen and your pad ready because you're going to be hearing from a successful entrepreneur. His name is Derek Bailey. So stay tuned. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
Pretty good, my friend. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing great and it's getting better each and every single day.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
Absolutely. Where you calling in from?
Atlanta.
Okay, the beautiful ATL.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony was telling me that the launch for your brand was he said the event was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was good. And a lot of good feedback. Yeah, we made a lot of friends with that.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you coming on my platform and conveying value to my audience.
Yeah, thanks for considering us.
Absolutely. And yeah, I told a great friend of mine about you, and his name is Gordon Bazar, and he specializes in the private equity industry, and he's actually in California, and he pretty much went to your website. He was blown away by what you're doing in the technology space. And he's also in the technology space as well. So he wanted to see if we can actually do a conference call and see how y'all can actually create some synergy with one another.
Yeah, what is this fund specialize in?
He specializes in technology companies, and he pretty much buys profitable businesses in the private equity sector.
Okay. That's always of interest to us.
Yes, absolutely. So he was blown away by what you're doing in the technology space, and he's also in the technology space as well. So you want to see how y'all can actually, formulate a relationship and see how y'all can actually have some synergies with one another.
Okay. When you want to set that up?
When you're available.
I mean, things get reprioritized all the time based on importance. So, I can be flexible.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out to him and to see if we can actually set up for the day or tomorrow if you're open.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm busy. I'm doing like one of those video podcast things tonight around 6 till like 8. But I'm flexible up until 6.
All righty. Okay. So what I would do you want me to go through Tony to set it up, or how you want me to set it up?
Yeah, you can just email me directly. I'm Derek at Derek Automotive. DEREK at DerekAutomotive.com.
Okay, Derek. Derek at DerekAutomotive.com.
Yeah.
All right, no Gmail for your email.
That's my email. Derek at DerekAutomotive.com. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All righty. So after we do the show, I'll definitely reach out to Gordon and see if we can pretty much make that happen on the conference call.
Okay. Yeah. I should be flexible tomorrow.
All right.
Shouldn't be a problem. Even Saturday morning is fine as well.
Okay. All righty. Are you familiar with GoToWebinar?
Yeah, I have Zoom. I use a few of them, so I can use whatever you want to use.
Okay. All right. I'll let him know. And because he's definitely interested in what you're doing in the tech space, because that's actually what he does as well.
Okay, good deal. Do you have any other questions yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I was just looking at your impressive resume, and I'm definitely like to hear about how you got your start and things of that nature. So you ready to rock and roll?
Oh, I mean, I never hold on a second. Yeah, sorry, the call was coming in. Yeah, I've never had a job, so I haven't had a job since I was 17.
Oh wow!
So people are like, where did you get your start? Almost at birth. So I've never Yeah, I've never needed a job.
That's good. That's good. You always had the entrepreneurial spirit.
Born to it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, born to it.
Okay. Well,
So
that's always a blessing.
yeah, absolutely. So I had another guy that I'm supposed to Zoom within a few minutes. So just set that up and get back to me.
Okay, I definitely will.
Okay, bro. All right.
Ready?
All right, bye-bye.
I'm actually going to start the show right now. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Arthur Robinson Jr. I'm the creator and host of the Powerful Interviews podcast. And today I have another special interview for each and every one of you. Today I have a wonderful person on the show, and he's a great friend of mine. His name is Derek Bailey. For those that don't know Derek, let me explain to each and every one of you about this incredible, phenomenal man. Derek Bailey is the co-founder of Wolverton Bailey Technologies. He's also the co-founder of Derek Automotive Technologies Incorporated. He's made millions of dollars in the temporary staffing industry, and he started and launched many successful companies. And that is an awesome, impressive resume. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome the one, the only, the powerful Derek Bailey to the show.
How you doing, people? Thanks for having me. I don't know about all that powerful stuff, but hopefully I have something to share.
I'd like to thank you, Derek, for taking time out of your busy schedule to educate me and the audience worldwide about the technology industry. I gladly appreciate it.
Yeah, well, what we're doing, I mean, basically, we created a new technology that we got patented that, in essence, creates low carbon electricity. So we convert fuel into electricity, but we do it from a device that's a third the size and weight of a traditional engine, which allows us to do some unique things, like creating what we have here is a self-charging electric car.
Wow.
So basically, the car uses a small amount of gas, but it produces less pollution than if you actually pull the power for an electric car from a power plant. A lot of people don't realize that when you pull power over the electric power lines, the power lines eat a lot of that power. So fully 15 to 40% of whatever is created at a power plant is lost before it gets to the use point. So since our technology creates the electricity at the point of use, at least we know we get those line losses back. And with the carbon footprint being about the same, plus the convenience of not having to pull over and plug in, we think our technology will certainly find a place for itself in the electric car future.
Now, I know that technology is constantly evolving. Can you explain to the audience what inspired you to get into the electric vehicle industry?
Well, we created the generator technology first. So we had a choice of either taking the easy road, which would be to take our technology and ask someone to integrate it into their car. That would be one path where we would have very little control over the outcome. Or we could take the harder road of launching our own electric vehicle company and put in our technology in our car. So while it's a harder road, it's a more certain road. And if we're successful on that road, what we build will be ours.
Now, what differentiates your brand from the Tesla brand that Elon Musk basically launched?
Well, we say that Elon Musk made EVs cool. I mean, he certainly built a great car. They certainly have great battery technology, but we're not competing on that front. Every electric car in the world, when the batteries deplete, they have to pull over and plug in. We'll have the only electric vehicle on the planet where you won't have to pull over and plug in. When the batteries start to discharge, our Proteus generator turns on, converts gas to electricity to charge that generator back up, to charge that battery bank back up, and turns itself off. So basically, we're just moving the power plant into the car, whereas Tesla relies on remote creation of electricity, which is not Tesla's fault. I mean, but when the power plants transmit that energy, 30–40% of it is lost before it makes it to the Tesla. You know, so why do that? So, you know, if we get our way, maybe we'll partner with Tesla one day and our generator will be in Teslas as well. Why not create the electricity at the car instead of transmitting it over electric lines and losing 30 or 40% of it?
Wow. Now you said that
ask him to turn that down. I'm sorry.
Now you said that you took the power plant and basically,
Put it in the car.
Into the car. Now, did you and your partner, did y'all have to, raise a lot of money to put that into fruition?
Oh, of course we did. But I've been in the temporary staffing business for 40 years. You know, so we were able to use a lot of our own capital to get this done. And we have a small group of private investors. But, you know, the more you can get done from your own pockets, it's a little bit harder. But, you know, we fully control the company. So this will probably always be a Black-owned entity. If we had to take money from outsiders, that might not be the case.
Now, your company, is it a S Corp, a C Corp, or LLC?
It's a C Corp.
Okay.
The parent company is a C Corp, and our divisions are LL. Well, some of our divisions are C Corps and some are LLCs.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have a core technology that we put into different products, and we spin those products out to their own division. The first of those is our electric van company, which we are in the process of trying to take public here in the near term.
So your platform is basically a technology facilitated platform. Would that be accurate?
Well, our technology is what we would call an enabling technology. Because what we're bringing, like our tagline says, you know, Tesla made electric vehicles cool. We're going to make them convenient. The electric car is a very fun car to drive. It accelerates faster and does more than a gas car. The only resistance point for consumers with electric vehicles is that whole plug-in thing. If you're going to take a 400 or 500 mile trip to drive to grandma's for Thanksgiving, most Americans and most people in the world don't want to have to stop for 35 or 40 minutes to recharge a car. And that's assuming they can find a charger. That's assuming that when they find a charger that it works. That's assuming that when they find a charger, there's not a car on that charger already. So if you have to sit 35 minutes and there are 2 or 3 cars ahead of you waiting for their 35 minutes, it can be quite a pain. With our vehicle, you know, you'd have a 3 to 5 gallon gas tank, and the generator would use that gas to convert that gas into electricity to recharge your battery packs. So worst case scenario, you might have to stop and get 3 gallons of gas, which would take you less than 5 minutes, and you'd be on your way. So we believe that that level of convenience is going to be the difference between us and companies like Tesla, BMW, you know, every major electric car maker right now, you have to plug their car in. So we're going to be the first car that you don't have to plug in. That is on a totally electric drivetrain. Yeah, so we're not hybriding the car like a Prius. This is a 100% electric drivetrain car that just happens to have its power pack inside the car.
Now, this is totally a different, powerful concept that you actually put together in the technology space. Like, for example, like Uber, they basically are a technology company where they make money off of the data, and they leverage off of other people's cars. And what you and your
we're going to do something similar. Yeah. So basically, I mean, I think almost everyone who was our advisor was advising us to be a licensing company. And, you know, we fully plan to do that. But you have to position yourself in business no matter what path you take. So if we actually have a car on the road that's outperforming every other car, electric car on the road, then that's going to make even our licensing path smoother. And it's going to make our licensing fees higher because consumers will know about our technology. They will have seen it work, and they're going to want it in any electric vehicle that they drive.
Now, in regards to the licensing fees, did you have a lot of other big brands that wanted to partake in your brand and partner?
Well, we certainly have discussions, but like everyone, most people are from the show me state. So they'd like to see us at full production and cars on the road, and so we're about to show them.
Mm.
Yeah, so we'll have cars on the road, the first part of next year.
Now, what's the initial investment in investing into the electric car?
Well, right now, the only path to invest in the company right now is an accredited investor offering.
Mm-hmm.
That starts at $250,000, but we do have a certificate program where a person can acquire some shares, which is what Tony Pitts is, probably discussed with you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're hoping to take our first company public in the near term, over the next 5 to 6 months.
So you're actually going to partner with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission?
Well, you don't partner with the SEC. You just try to get down their gauntlet and see if they'll approve you to
Right.
go public. They're the securities police. They're not your partner.
Okay. Derek, let's have a conversation about the word entrepreneur. Now, the word entrepreneur means entreprendre, and it was a Latin word, and it was invented in the 15th century in France. And a gentleman by the name of John Baptist, he invented the word, and over 300 years later, that word still exists, which is entrepreneur. So entre means between, and ponder means to take. So it means to take lower productivity and increase it to higher productivity. Can you explain to the audience, how are you increasing your productivity in your current businesses?
Well, to increase your productivity, you have to have a solid plan, and then you have to maximize your time. Families take time, relationships take time, everything takes time. So as an entrepreneur, you're going to be a little bit more isolated because it's going to be required to give you time to think, and thinking drives everything. So I spend maybe too much time alone, too much time thinking, but that's what's required. So, time thinking, and then efficiency of movement. And then the real key, I think, to any entrepreneur is to do as less yourself as possible. So you're able to do more working through other people. So the key is to get things done through other people. There's an old Indian saying that the ultimate entrepreneur does nothing and accomplishes everything. So, we should be just sitting in one place and barely moving, and everything should be getting done. That's when you know you're good. I'm not that good yet, but I'm working on it.
Let's have a conversation about capitalism. Now, I know capitalism basically means I own the land, I own the resources, and I use other people's labor to enrich myself. How do you feel about capitalism?
Best system ever existed. Only system that's ever been proven to move humanity forward. People think that capitalism is bad. Capitalism is not bad. People are bad. System is good. If you put good people inside of a capitalist system, then I think you're going to have probably the ultimate good outcomes possible. Capitalism is simple. I think about myself, but in doing so, I help others. So if I think about others and I keep that same effort, to enrich, then you're probably gonna do more. So it's like I tell people, there's nothing wrong with making $1 billion or $100 billion. You just can't have $100 billion in your account and a kid down the street who doesn't have food. That's not capitalism's fault. That's the people involved in capitalism's fault. So I think as people watch our company, they'll see a different type of stewardship, but from people who are totally in love with the capitalist system. Yeah, we just have to be better people. That has nothing to do with the system. That's us. That's on us.
I agree with you. Absolutely. And what are your thoughts on socialism?
probably responsible for the death of as many people as we can count on all our fingers and toes. You can't force people to be good. Look at most socialist systems, you get a hierarchy of people who think they can punish people into being good. You can't punish people into being good. And you lose the productivity that comes with the self-interest that's embedded in capitalism. Socialism doesn't work. As a matter of fact, as humans become good, in my opinion, socialism is automatic. I mean, if I have resources and I know that you are down the street without resources, I don't have to be a socialist to do that. I have to be a Christian.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If someone tries to make me do that or tries to take my money, that would be closer to a socialist system. If I do that because I know I should, it has nothing to do with socialism or capitalism, in my opinion. As we become better people, then a capitalist economic system is just going to get better. That's it. And we are becoming better people. You know, everybody wants to put America down, dude, but America is still great.
Absolutely.
Our system is great. And we still have the greatest country on earth. And we have to, disagree with people who say otherwise. Because people always want to compare what exists with perfection. And there is no perfection. That's why I tell people everyone gets lost on the way to nirvana because nirvana doesn't exist.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so we have to stay here, keep working at it, respect each other and share resources better. We don't do a good enough job of sharing resources.
You're right. It's all about sharing resources, and it's all about, building long-term relationships. That's what makes this world goes around in regards to, being in a capitalistic society. And then also entrepreneurs are actually changing the world. So
entrepreneurs are changing the world. And a socialist system assumes that a few government officials have all the answers. A capitalist system disperses the thinking.
I agree with you.
Yeah, no one is smart enough, 4 or 5 people or a single family to run a country. The thinking just can't be, their thinking can't be that broad. So capitalism should allow almost every individual in that society to contribute to the development of that society without some central socialist planning system.
You're right. Your thoughts govern your belief systems.
Absolutely.
So if you put something in your mind that you can do it, you will. But if you put something in your mind that you can't do it, then you won't.
Absolutely. But then we have to be free to do it. I mean, in some countries, even a country like France or a country like Greece, if I want to work 70 hours a day, 70 hours a week, the government doesn't allow it. If you want to come work with me 70 hours a week, the government doesn't allow it. You know what I mean? These socialists or quasi-socialist systems, they just stifle who I call the producers. No one has to make me get up and go to work. I get up and go to work because I enjoy it. And no one should take away my freedom to do that.
Absolutely. Do what you love and love what you do.
Yeah. And if I get out there and I want to work harder than you and I make more money than you, no, I don't believe the government should take the money that I hustle to make. But I also don't think I should hoard the money if you're down the street without food and resources or medical care for your children.
Absolutely. It's all about, creating value. And, you're a value creator, I'm a value creator. And it's all about simply, providing value to people. And I love providing hope to people. And hope stands for helping other people excel. And I love to help other people excel to do extremely well.
I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. So we, entrepreneurs think alike.
Absolutely. Like-minded people always attract like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Derek, let's dialogue about culture. Now, I don't know if you heard of the brand called Zappos. The owner name is Tony Hsieh. And their headquarters is actually in Las Vegas, Nevada. And unfortunately, he was around 37 years old, but he passed away. He was actually
Mhm.
Japanese, but he sold the company a couple of years back for over $1.6 billion. And Tony Hsieh actually developed a culture. And if you work for his brand and you didn't fit into the culture in regards to having a toxic mindset, they would actually pay you $3 to $4 to leave the brand because you didn't fit into the culture. How important it is for entrepreneurs and business owners to develop a culture that the employees would love.
I think you can't be successful without it.
Mm,
You know, I mean, I think that's known everywhere from a wolf pack to a street gang.
mm,
You know, birds of a feather do flock together.
mm,
Yeah, so you have to have a solid culture that everyone understands what the principles of that culture is, and everyone has to, you know, they have to adhere to the principles of the culture. I mean, it's just, to me, you shouldn't have to pay anybody $3,000 to leave. If you don't fit into a culture, it should be within your personal integrity to leave.
right.
That's just a good culture or bad culture. So if you really are not willing to fit into that culture, then to stay really is to be dishonest.
Mm. What mistakes have you seen over the years the entrepreneurs are making in the electric car industry?
Well, I try not to judge or criticize other companies or what they're doing. I do believe that the electric car industry, pushed more so by government,
Mm,
make the core mistake that electric drivetrains have to be tied to the electric grid.
mm,
Because when you think about it, this is what they're saying. The number one emitter of CO2 pollution is transportation.
mm,
The second emitter is power plants. So they're asking you to plug electric car into the second biggest emitter of carbon. And then I just explained to you that after I plug into the second biggest emitter of carbon, I'm going to transfer that power that was created down power lines that are going to eat 15 to 40% of it. So you certainly can't call yourself a conservationist. If you ask me for a glass of water and I pour out 15 to 40% of it before I bring it to you and hand it to you, this is not a good thing. So I think electric drivetrain is the drivetrain of the future. But plugging that drivetrain into the electric grid may not be the best idea as you come to understand that the grid wastes a lot of the power that's created.
mm. Now you
You know
mentioned,
what I mean? So I mean, it's certainly better than driving gas guzzling cars. And before our technology, maybe you didn't have a choice. But now that we're going to be proving in the near future that we can convert fuel to electricity at the point of use at a smaller carbon footprint than producing that same kilowatt hour at a power plant, it's going to make no sense in the future to recharge electric cars over the power grid when all they have to do is put one of my Proteus generators inside that vehicle.
Now you said basically what y'all doing is converting, oil, converting fuel, what I mean, to the electric space. How
Yeah.
do you feel about entrepreneurs and business owners investing in the gas and oil industry?
Oil and gas is probably the biggest money maker in the history of mankind. There's a reason for that. A gallon of gasoline is the most compact, dense form of energy ever created. And it's dispatchable, which means you can move it around and use it where it's needed. What's happened to oil and gas? Sometimes I joke in meetings and I say it's kind of like what happens to Black people. Somebody else does something bad and we get blamed. The culprit with oil and gas has been engines. For the last 140 years, since Otto invented the first engine, these engines have only been 19 to 22, 23% efficient. In other words, when you put fuel into a modern engine, the engine uses about 23% of it and puts out the rest as pollution. Now, a diesel engine uses about 32% of it, but to achieve that efficiency, it emits even more pollution. So you have bad engines that you're putting fuel into. If you burn all of the fuel, you would get much smaller carbon emissions. And that's what our engine does. It burns 83% more of the fuel than a standard engine. And then our second patent covers a generator that does a better job of managing that power. And all we use it for is to recharge battery packs. So oil and gas is not bad. Oil and gas is going to run out one day. So our engine actually uses half to 1/3 the fuel. So wide adoption of our technology, if it was widely adopted on a global basis, we would certainly slow the consumption of fuel. If you use less fuel, then you're going to have fewer emissions, which means you're going to have less carbon being emitted. But the biggest thing that I think our technology can do is get every consumer on an electric drivetrain. I mean, one day in the future, maybe 100, 120 years, we will have a green electric grid, but that's not going to happen for a while. So we see our technology as a transitional technology. It's a kind of technology that can trick everyone onto the electric drivetrain. And as the grid becomes greener and more efficient and smarter, people will already be on the electric drivetrain, and then they can plug in when the time is right. But right now, I don't believe the time is right. But plug in. I think the time is right to transition to an electric drivetrain, but the power for that drivetrain should be made at the drivetrain and not transmitted over power lines where we waste 15 to 40% of it.
Now, when you talked about the electric drivetrain and pretty much the power grid, what does it actually take to develop a technology team to move that into fruition with, building electric grid or a power grid?
Well, we have that team already. All you really need is a bunch of brilliant electricians and some mechanical engineers. So, we have a pretty, productive team. So we feel like we have most of the people that we need, to make this a commercially viable technology. And right now we're starting to partner with universities. Historically, Black universities are our first priority, but we're partnering with various universities. There's a big brain pool there for us to use. And, we're probably only 9 months away from fully demonstrating what our technology can do for the EV sector.
Wow. Now, Derek Automotive Technologies, that brand is just emerging. And I can see over the next 5-10 years, that brand is going to catapult to a whole nother level. And
so that's the plan. That's the hope.
All right.
With support of people like you and the people in your audience, I think we can become a global auto brand. Most certainly. I think when you think about the way our Proteus technology works, how it converts fuel to electricity, I think that half the world doesn't have a reliable electric grid. There are certain countries in Africa and India and on the Latin continent that maybe they have power, 6 hours a day, some 4 hours a day, some 10 hours a day. So certainly the grid can barely provide the power for air conditioning and things like that. To put hundreds of millions of electric cars on some of these unstable grids makes no sense. But even in these countries, we can get everyone on an electric drivetrain by using our Proteus to convert any fuel that country specializes in to produce the electricity needed so that the transportation can actually function and drive on batteries. So we're the new way. We're going to be the new way to replenish batteries and EVs. So we're not really challenging the market on the EVs itself. We're not challenging the market on battery technology itself. All we're saying is we have a better, more practical way to recharge the batteries in electric transportation, and whether that's a boat or a car or a truck or a drone or whatever. Fuel to electric conversion to recharge batteries is going to be better than pulling that drone out of the sky, letting it sit for whatever amount of time, hours, to recharge, and then putting it back up in the air. So whereas in the 20th century, that drone might have had a 15-gallon gas tank. Now it's going to have a 3-gallon gas tank. So it's going to use, a magnitude less fuel to achieve the same power and distance. And we think that's the transitional technology until batteries actually get that million miles that everyone falsely claiming can be done right now.
Do you see a lot of entrepreneurs getting into the drone industry and into the electric car business over in Dubai?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
We're in the process of talking with Middle Eastern partners ourselves right now. That's a very advanced part of the world. I mean, I think Americans are really not the best people with knowing what's actually happening on a global basis and keeping up with the development in other countries. But this is a very advanced part of the world, and they actually may implement on a larger scale some of these new technologies faster than America if we're not careful.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're very interested in the air taxis there. But people are interested in air taxis to take them from New York to the Hamptons.
Right.
I think the air taxi that Uber has developed, it just can't make it yet. But I think we'll be able to have some impact there as well. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we have an air taxi under development that we'll be revealing soon, just to share a secret with the audience.
Wow. Now, with that being said, does that involve a lot of capital to
you always need money. Always need money.
Right.
If you want to write me a check, I'll come right over and pick it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Derek, I appreciate you coming on my show today, because the whole premise of my show is to educate entrepreneurs and business owners on a national, international scale, that they can live the life that they truly desire, but they have to be open to these important principles. So I don't like what I see with some of the news, so I create my own news.
I like that. I like that. All right. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. We have another Zoom call to jump on.
All right.
But I'm happy to come back anytime.
Absolutely. Do you have any last pearls of wisdom for the audience?
Get started today. Whatever your dreams are, get started today. I talk to a lot of people who think, my dream requires, 2 million or 3 million or 4 million or 5 million or 500,000. I tell people, business it's like baby steps. Maybe your idea requires a $500,000 investment, but the question is, how much money do you need today? Get started today. Today, maybe you need a business card that costs $37. So you get started. And tomorrow, you probably just need $400 to set up your corporation. The key is to get started. Get started. When people see that you're progressing, that they see that you're keeping your word and doing what you say you're going to do, you're going to find that money will find you. People will find you. Business is really a relationship. All relationships are based on trust. If people can trust you, they will give you money.
Absolutely.
Assuming you have a good idea.
Yeah, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes, a village to raise entrepreneurs, and the right village on top of that.
That's right. And it takes a community to raise a company.
Absolutely.
I can't build this company by myself. So we're out here trying to build a community. Anybody who joins us, supports us, becomes a part of that community. And, that's how we're going to grow, and that's how everyone grows.
Can you explain to the audience exactly where they can find you?
You can, if you have questions for me, you can send it to questions@derekautomotive.com.
Okay.
And, Derek Automotive has Instagram, YouTube channels. Follow us on social media. We're pretty active.
Alrighty.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm just getting calls coming in. Yeah, so send questions to questions at Derek Automotive. And I'm happy to come back and be on your show again.
Oh, I appreciate you, Derek. And before you sign off, can you explain to the audience what is the best advice that you have ever received?
Don't chase money.
Wow.
Old man told me, Derek, you're a smart dude. He was like, he said, but you're a little glib. He's like, you're a little too smooth, and you actually think that you can go out and run down money. He was like, the people who make money are people who stand still and do something well. You do something well, money finds you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he told me money was like a woman. If you don't know how to take care of it, it's going to leave you. It's very true. So just do something well. Be a person of your word, and the money that you need to find you.
Absolutely. Integrity is everything.
It's everything.
And, what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So
absolutely. If you can attract people to your idea, and people are attracted to your idea, if they feel like they can benefit and that you can be trusted.
Absolutely. Ideas is the real capital of real wealth.
And that you have the discipline to actually complete the job that you start.
Derek, I'd like to thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to educate me and the audience worldwide about your phenomenal brand and about the true definition of entrepreneurship. I gladly appreciate it. You are a gift from God.
You guys are my gift. And follow us, stay up to date on what we're doing. And if you see a way to help, come help.
To everyone that's listening and watching right now, I highly recommend follow the phenomenal, the successful entrepreneur, Derek Bailey. Hear the passion that came through his voice on my show today. Look him up and just Google him. Derek Bailey, D-E-R-E-K. His last name is Bailey, B-A-I-L-E. Why?
Yeah, and I'm Derek W. Bailey on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram.
Absolutely. Follow him on his social media handles. And also go to his website, derekautomotive.com.
All right, guys. I have other people waiting for me, so I'll see you soon.
I appreciate it, Derek. So to everyone that's listening and watching right now, remember that the strongest asset that each and every one of you have is your brain, and what you think about and what you take action on, that will become your reality, and your mentality creates your reality. May God bless each and every one of you, and bye for now. Thank you, Derek. I really appreciate you conveying value on my platform.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a pleasant day, everyone.